In 2023 alone, American workers voluntarily surrendered $4.5 billion back to their employers. This total represents money handed back to companies by employees who simply didn't understand the rules of their own healthcare accounts. Meanwhile, employees who understand the code are legally shaving $1,000 to $2,000 off their tax bills every single year, using medical expenses they were going to pay for anyway. Ignoring these accounts guarantees a financial loss. Mastering the math behind them provides a legal, highly protected path toward building wealth. Both a flexible spending account, an FSA, and a health savings account, an HSA, let you set aside money for medical costs before the IRS takes its cut. By bypassing federal income tax, state tax in most places, and the 7.65% FICA payroll tax, you effectively get a 30% discount on your doctors, dentists, and prescriptions. But the structural similarities end there. The core difference comes down to ownership. The HSA belongs to you. You control it, you keep it if you change jobs, and the money never expires. The FSA is owned by your employer. This distinction determines whether you are setting up an engine for long-term financial independence or just getting a temporary discount on this year's medical bills. Looking at the official 2026 IRS limits, an individual can put up to $4,400 into an HSA, and a family can contribute $8,750. For an FSA, the health limit is $3,400 per person, and if you have childcare or elder care expenses, the dependent care FSA limit recently jumped to $7,500 per household. To access those HSA benefits, you have to clear one specific hurdle. You must be enrolled in a high-deductible health plan, or HDHP. For 2026, the IRS defines this as an insurance plan with a minimum deductible of $1,700 for an individual. The FSA has no such barrier. It works alongside any standard employer-sponsored health insurance plan. The health insurance plan you pick at open enrollment acts as the primary gatekeeper for your tax leverage for the next 12 months. Financial professionals prioritize the HSA for 3 reasons. First, contributions directly reduce your taxable income. Second, you invest those funds in stocks or bonds, and all growth compounds free of taxes. Third, qualified medical withdrawals trigger 0 taxes. There is also a specific provision that kicks in at age 65. At that point, the HSA functions like a traditional IRA. You can withdraw the funds for any non-medical reason without a penalty, paying only standard income tax on the distribution. Between the pre-tax contribution, tax-free growth, and tax-free withdrawal, the HSA is the only vehicle in the U.S. tax code that allows money to travel from your paycheck to your pocket without the IRS taking a cut. The FSA lacks that long-term power, but it has a unique cash flow benefit. If you elect to contribute $3,400 for the year, you have access to that full amount on day one, even before payroll deductions funded. The trade-off is the use it or lose it rule. If you have unspent funds at the end of the year, anything above a strict $680 carryover limit is legally forfeited and returned to your employer. To keep your own money, you have to estimate your upcoming medical costs accurately before you enroll, adding only a very small buffer for emergencies. If you must spend down a balance, the eligible expense list is surprisingly broad. It covers everyday items like sunscreen and first aid supplies, as well as heavily prescribed medications like Ozempic and Wegovy, provided they are prescribed for conditions like diabetes. An FSA is a highly effective short-term discount tool, but without precise planning, you risk handing your own wages back to your boss. If you are healthy, or if you have the cash flow to cover current medical bills out of pocket, the optimal financial move is to leave the money in your HSA completely alone. This chart illustrates the math. If you contribute the $4,400 maximum every year and invest it in a broad market index fund, averaging a 7% return, your balance scales up to roughly $193,000 over 20 years. This strategy works because the IRS enforces no time limit on reimbursements. If you pay a doctor's bill today and save the receipt, you can reimburse yourself from the HSA a decade from now, completely tax-free, after that money has spent 10 years compounding in the market. By treating the HSA as a restricted investment account instead of a checking account, you build a massive, dedicated defense against the heavy healthcare costs that hit during retirement. Before your next open enrollment window closes, do the math to see if a high-deductible health plan makes sense for your family. If you have to stick with an FSA, calculate your expected medical costs down to the dollar. If you already have an HSA with a cash balance, log into the portal today and move everything above your required minimum into low-cost index funds. Finally, start digitally archiving every single out-of-pocket medical receipt from this moment forward. These records allow you to claim tax-free withdrawals years or even decades into the future. Understanding the strict rules governing these accounts stops you from forfeiting your own money and puts you in a position to actively build tax-free wealth.
वीडियोस बनाने हैं, फिल्मोरा है ना।